One other thing at the beginning, some of you are still not pressing it down enough. Belly button is down here, not here, yeah? So remember, it is level, more or less level with your belly button. So you must have a sense of sinking. I mean, there's three things that is sinking, and one thing is lifting. Three things are sinking. Obviously, number one is your body, because your knees are bending. So the body and the lower back is sinking. Hands is sinking. So if I don't sink my body, my hand still sinks. Can you see? Still sinks, but it sinks together with the body. Okay, shoulder sinks, sinks. Keep the body sink. Belly button here. No. Chest, no good. Okay, lift. One lift. Okay, so lift, sink, 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 sink. No. Sink, sink. Arms, knees, hip, all together moves. That's it, good. So remember, this one here, when you rise, actually, instead of having the intention of leaning backwards, you should have intention of reaching out rather than going back. Okay? Although you're not rocking forward, but the intention is going out, not back. Yeah? So when you're standing here, your intention is hands up and pull outwards. See? So that will stop you from leaning backwards. Same thing, when you actually sink and tilt your pelvis, you also have an intention of pressing down slightly forwards, not back, because a lot of people go this way. See? Okay, so press down is slightly downward and slightly forward rather than back. Okay? Another one, 白鹤亮翅. 1, 2, don't go too far back, because your target is actually in front of you, not behind you. So that means all you have to do is to turn slightly towards the left at this moment. 1, 2, 3, come back. See? Very minor turning of the waist, because that is all you need to divert. Okay? So don't go too far, like 2, 3, then come back to the front. There's no need. Okay? So I would say 1, turn about 30, maximum 45 degrees. Straight, 30, maximum 45 degrees. And you see this hand hasn't gone all the way up yet. Okay? So hold the ball as you step. Raise your hands. It is a process. It's not the end. So the hands hasn't gone all the way up yet. It's only halfway as you sit back, but without stopping, you carry on splitting up with the lower hand and adjust. See? Okay? We break it down to make it easier for us to know where our arms and legs are at a moment in time. But when you do it, you can do it like as a flow when you get used to it. But at this point here, the hands, 1, 2, then split. Further up, come back down. 3. Okay, 2, 3, 2, 3. No good? 2, 3. Okay, body shouldn't turn more than 45 degrees. Okay, anything more than that, you lose your advantage. Okay, so the body, 30 to 45. Straight, 30, maximum 45. And then come back as you split more. Okay, so block, block. Okay, block, block more. But what I suggest you to do is not to simply take on the whole form, just go through the whole form. And I would like you, what I do as an experience, is, although I learn a lot from Professor Lee, but sometimes you get a bit confused when he's not around. I say, oh, what's this posture, that one? So what I did was, I always used the 24-step DVD he has as a reference at the beginning, really. And what I do is, instead of going through the form over and over and over again, I will just look at one posture at a time. And not just one posture. I want to see, for example, when my hands is this, where my legs should be. And when he turns his body, how far does he turn? So really, what I like you to do is really to look at these DVDs in detail when you have them, on each postures, and analyze my movement so much that you can become Tari. Okay? Because what I always say to my the instructors, before, is like, I want you at the end of this course to become, like we've got 15 here, so there will be 16 Taris here. Yeah? Then 2 years down the line, you could be anybody you want. But for now, it is important when you go back is try to analyze, because there's so many things that we can look into, but it's difficult to go through every single one of them. But this is what you need to do when you get back, is to look at the DVDs, each postures, just simply follow my movements. For example, 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3, and then 1. And you can stop and freeze me. Look at yourself in the mirror and compare you to me, and see if your arms is in the right place, your legs is in the right place. And then when you step, same thing, freeze. Look at me, freeze me as well if you want to. You have me 24/7. Freeze me and see, okay, Tari's legs is like this, is mine like this. Tari's arms is like this, is mine's like this. Okay, 4 or 3 here. Then you look, see the legs, see the knees, see the body. And the best thing is, having looked at the videos, and if you have a mirror, look at the mirror and compare yourself to me. Okay? And also, some of these are here. 1, 2. Very easy for people to go too quick and the wrong place. Okay? So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. How you get there is the next stage. But you must remember, 1, this is the picture in your mind. 2, this is the picture in your mind. You have to do exactly the same as 2. 3, 4. So if you say 1, you're wrong. If you say 2, you're wrong. If you say 3, you're wrong. Okay? So that's what you need to do. Okay? Every single one of the postures in 8 steps, you can break them out, break them down, and do one at a time continuously. Okay? So, for example, like 野马分钟, you can go 1 all day long doing this, just to feel the movement, the flow, the balance, the coordination. Okay? And same thing as 楼西腰部. You can do it all the way. This is quite a good basic training. Number 1, to get your timing right. Number 2 is to improve your practice, your balance. Number 3 is trying to get your sort of a coordination right. Okay? So remember, every time you do a posture, you always try to link the body with the waist and the feet. Okay? So you could actually use it again as a single exercise. There's a lot of basic exercise you could do in order to help you improve the form. It's like this one. Turn your waist, bring your toes back in, push it out as you turn back. Okay? You can keep doing this until you get used to. Okay? No good. You gotta go. Faye's gonna complain now, I'm gonna wear this out. So this is something that you need to also pay attention to, is we try to maintain a same level as soon as you start. That means here, your level is more or less the same. See, it's always, so suddenly the ceiling has come down on you, and that ceiling fixed, more or less throughout the routine. Well, at least on the 8 step. Okay, so this is something that, and very often this is down to the strength on the legs, because people don't have the strength. So it's easier if they come up and then go back down. And this is how you actually develop your physical strength, is by maintaining that level. Now, if you do find that you get really tired, then it will be better if you stand up slightly higher and slowly go down as your strength develops. Yeah, but it's better to do that rather than up, and down, okay? Whatever mistakes you're making, your learners will actually make the same mistake. And then you need to explain to them why these are mistakes. Yeah, so very important, whatever mistakes you guys have raised to yourself, need to be noted down so that when in future you'll be able to spot it, okay? Half a step, what we say half a step really is not exactly half, depending on how wide you are. If I do a wider bow stance, then it will be more than a half a step. But the bottom line is, when you come in, the front heel, the front heel should be in front of the back toes. So that means like this, look. Okay, no good to be this. Okay, there may be some movement in other forms, in the longer form that you may do this, but not in the 8 step. Okay, not to say that you're wrong, but in the 8 step, you should step just behind. Okay, so depending on how wide your stance is, it could be half a step, it could be more than half steps, but the bottom line is, should not be next to the front heel or past it, should be just behind it. Sit. See? Okay. I haven't said anything about the eyes yet. Yeah, and this is very often people segregate the difference between a good practitioner and a normal one. It's like sometimes, you know, your eyes doesn't know where to go, where it goes, yeah? But I will come to it a bit later, okay? And we'll get into that hopefully in the second module about where your eyes should be. Because I said earlier, very often people do Tai Chi, the eyes wanders all over the place. But it is important that we need to know where to turn, where to look. But one basic guideline is you look only where you strike and strike where you look, especially at the end of it. Okay? But in between, you might have to look somewhere else. But we always say, don't look up or look down unless you're attacking upwards or downwards. But very rarely you look up. You might have to look down, especially in certain movements where you're aiming downwards. But apart from that, you should be always looking ahead, especially when you're striking forward. You always look where you strike and strike where you look. Okay? So from now until July, I think is the next module, isn't it? You will eat 8 step, live 8 step, sleep 8 steps. Anything you do is to do with 8 step. Sorry? Breathe 8 step, yeah, that's it, yeah, and love 8 step. You're in love with it, you're going to enjoy it every single day, no less than half an hour, preferably an hour to 2. Okay? Right? 同学们再见，老师再见。Okay? 同学们再见，老师再见。Good. Thank you. Well done, everybody. Oh, thank you. See you in a few months.